Malacanang is confident Taiwan will provide additional security to protect Filipinos in that country in the aftermath of the recent shooting of a Taiwanese fisherman by the Philippine Coast Guard. This comes in the wake of reports of assault and discrimination against Filipino nationals in Taiwan. Deputy Presidential Spokesperson Abigail Baltet told newsmen that the Philippine government remains optimistic that the harassment and assaults against Filipinos in Taiwan will be stopped after Taiwan President May Ying-jeou vowed last week to protect the Filipinos there. More from Rocky Ignacio.
Malacanang reiterates its appeal to Taiwan to ensure the safety and welfare of many Filipinos in that country in the face of the May 9 maritime incident. Deputy Presidential Spokesperson Abigail Baltet said Malacanang hopes that the reported incidents of bullying on Filipinos will not happen again.
They've already manifested their intent to do so, and we hope that with the move that they are apparently ready to provide the additional protection, we hope that these incidents will not be repeated again. The two have been confirmed. Thankfully, the injuries were minor and they were treated promptly. There is a third that I'm waiting for confirmation from. We will let you know once we get that.
Manila Economic and Cultural Office Permanent Representative Antonio Basilio, who is in Manila, continues to coordinate with his counterpart in Taiwan to secure the Filipinos in the area.
I understand that the MECO office there still continues to perform their duties, especially in light of these reported incidents on our citizens.
Meanwhile, the Department of Justice remains firm in its position for the NBI to conduct the investigation on the death of the Taiwanese fisherman. Baltet said this on the issue of a Taiwanese request for a joint investigation on the case. Malacanang earlier reassured Taiwan for a fair and credible investigation on the incident.
About the joint investigation, as far as we know, the Secretary of Justice has said no to a joint investigation, knowing that we already have our own investigation ongoing, and that we proceed on the course of... There are several questions that have been raised in connection to the investigation. And as far as the President discussed with us this morning, he did want some questions to be answered by the investigation, but we don't really want to comment on the details yet because it would not be prudent for us, and people might say that we already have predetermined conclusions, which we want to avoid. As to the joint investigation, the Secretary of Justice has already said that that may not be possible.
Malacanang also reiterated that the letter brought by President Aquino's Special Envoy MECO Chairman Amadeo Perez was the one authorized by the President.
I can tell you that only the last letter that was transmitted to them was authorized by the President. And I understand the contents of the letter were very precise, and that it was emphasized there. It was made very clear that the President had already tasked the National Bureau of Investigation, which in our view, has already proven their impartiality in past investigations, objectivity, again in past investigations that they have been tasked by the President to undertake.
Meanwhile, President Aquino will not send a new emissary to Taiwan pending completion of the investigation.
I raised this particular point with the President this afternoon, and he said that it would not be prudent for us at this particular time, considering that the investigation on the incident is still ongoing, and to send an emissary at this point, an additional one apart from the ones that we already have, would effectively be forcing that person to engage in speculation, knowing that the investigation is still ongoing. So again, not at this point.
For the People's Television, Rocky Ignacio.